Hi, Statesman Nation, here with Chris Pierson as we preview the 2017-2018 women's golf season. Appreciate you coming in for a little bit. I know it's been a crazy week, the two-a-days and all that fun stuff. You guys working around some weather. Actually have some weather here in Oskaloosa the last few days. So we'll get to it right away. First off, let's recap last year, and then we talk about the transition now that you've taken over the program, and we can go from there and then into this year's roster and schedule and all that. So let's recap last year first.
Last year, we had a really good year. We started trending in the right direction in the fall, and then really, I think towards the end of spring we hit our peak, and that's always the goal. Is to keep going because conference is there at the end of the year, and that's what determines going to nationals. So we peaked. We won our 4th straight conference title, which was awesome, and then obviously it went down to PGA National down in Florida for the national tournament, which kind of didn't go the way we had planned.
Yeah, can't work around weather, unfortunately, or can't beat the weather. I should say.
Yeah, the weather kind of hampered some things, and then we just didn't play as well as we could have.
Yeah.
Still had a great experience.
Yeah.
Always great to make it to nationals, but it just didn't go our way. But yeah, it was a good year overall.
Yeah, definitely. Then with all of the big changes, Nick Rule taking over as director of athletics here, William Penn opening up the slot for that head coach. Made a smart move by moving you up, and just a nice promotion. You've been with the program long enough, you know exactly what, and you guys were on the same page from everything I've heard from you and everything, but you guys it was an easy, smooth transition, I guess, and let's talk about that just a little bit and your expectations for what you're looking forward to for the future here.
Yeah, the transition was, like you said, smooth. It was really easy for the girls, knowing me, and then obviously Coach Detweiler as well. Just kind of moved up the ladder, both of us, and it was just really smooth. Girls know what we expect from them, and it's kind of what I told them is, there's not going to be any major changes to what we've done in the past. Just minor changes here and there, as there is every season.
Right.
And it's gone well so far.
Yeah.
It's gone really well. All the girls were really receptive to it and open to it and really excited. So that made the transition even easier and a little less, troublesome.
Yeah.
For what could have been.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, let's get right into talking about this year and these girls and this schedule. Go ahead. You're not going to be off the camera for more than a half.
Drop my paper.
Said, bring a paper. Yeah. It's always a good idea. You don't want to forget anybody. It happens all the time. But break it down however you want. Obviously, there's a lot of talent coming back, and there's some nice new additions to the squad. So however you want to break it down, we'll go through
them. We'll just start, with our top girls that we lost from last year's team. All 3 played at nationals. All 3 played at conference, which Miranda Keeler, Jody Sato, and Courtney Cunningham. And Courtney Cunningham was part of all 4 of the conference tournament championships. So she was really special to this program. And Jody and Miranda were part of 3 and 2. Jody 3, Miranda 2. So there's a lot of conference championships and experience there with those 3. And all 3 played at nationals. So we do have a little bit of a hole, I guess, to fill with losing those 3. But we also are returning 3 that were at nationals as well. So two played, and one went down as an alternate.
Right.
So leading into that, our top returners, obviously Elise Warren, who was Player of the Year last year for the conference. Helene Larson, who played our number 2 spot for a majority of last year as well. And then Brittany Evans, who went down 2 nationals as the alternate. Are all 3 coming back with the experience. Brooke Fletcher has been around the program for 4 years. She's kind of been on the verge of jumping into that varsity spot and has played, a few tournaments in that top 5. So she's got the experience. And Megan Rhodes is coming in as well, and she's kind of the same boat as Brooke was. They just on the outside, here and there, played a few tournaments. They played really well in a few of our varsity reserve tournaments. Brooke, actually, her junior year, won our home tournament. Megan won a tournament last year, so there's lots of good things.
Yeah, those are players. Yeah, those are players that can step in and are probably ready to maybe have that additional pressure on their shoulders potentially in that respect. So they're probably ready to, make it happen finally.
Yeah.
The consistency obviously hasn't been there for them, but maybe in that situation, next man up, next woman up, they step in and they might.
Yep, and that's our goal.
Yeah, exactly. Who else we got?
We got, about 6 other girls that are returning that played varsity reserve tournaments last year or some varsity. Alexis Gamirez, she was one that really played a lot of varsity reserve individually. We just took her to get her some experience, but she also played a lot of varsity reserves. Tiffany Duhan, she has made a lot of progress over the summer. I would say if there's one girl I had to say right now that made the most progress that is noticeable, it's her. She's way above where she was last year, which is awesome. Sophie Lund, she's been around for 3 years, so she's got all the experience. Kind of again, one of those girls that has played a lot of tournaments, a lot of different types of tournaments. Alyssa Carey, and Deanna Pfeiffer round out the returners that we have coming back, and all those girls have played a lot of tournaments, and that's kind of our thing is we want you to play as many tournaments as possible, and we try to get you in as many tournaments as possible, whether it be varsity reserve or varsity. And then Jordan Postma is another girl. She's been here for 4 years. That has worked her tail off all 4 years, and really understands what we're all about as well.
Yeah, a lot of depth there. I mean, thinking of Alexis as a player that the way that you guys do the all conference selections a little bit different than other sports, but it's just straight stroke average, and she snuck herself on there despite not always being a consistent varsity kid, but right there on that cusp, and same kind of respect for Brooke Fletcher. A lot of very talented players now getting their chance possibly this year. So then you got 3 really good newcomers too that we've talked about. So I'll let you talk about them.
We got 3 freshmen coming in. Madison Lance out of California. She's a really good kid, great kid, willing to work so far. From what I've seen, she's willing to put in whatever it is she needs to do. She's just really excited to be here. Casey Kennedy out of Wyoming. She's kind of unique where she's participated in the long drive contest a little bit. So she
hitting them over the mountains over there. Wyoming, so.
Yeah, she loves to compete in that. So she's got the competitive edge, obviously, and I don't think she's going to be scared of the situation. The freshmen, every once in a while they get in here and it's a little intimidating when you start playing golf and girls are good and can hit the ball, but obviously Casey's participating in the long drive. She's seen it, so that it's not going to phase her. And Katrina Estes, she has, she's one of those girls. She's just an athlete. She played all kinds of sports in high school, and she actually started her own high school golf program.
Oh, really?
Back in Michigan. So these 3 all are excited, eager, ready to go, which is what we like, and they're all going to contribute some way or another and throughout the season. So we're excited to have them. Hope they're excited to be here, which they seem. So
definitely
see what happens.
Then obviously a schedule that jumps all over the place. You guys are definitely going to see the U.S. here in the fall. But let's they're all probably really cool tournaments. However you want to talk about them. If you want to go through all of them, that's fine. If you want to highlight just a few, whatever. But there's obviously a schedule that you guys are setting that you're hoping to prepare you for, going into the mid-season and into the spring and be really ready for a conference tournament and nationals and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go up to South Dakota for a couple. We start off at the Mount Marty Fall Invitational up there. Just the reason behind those is, it's just you can get some different teams that we're not always used to seeing and play some different courses. And so we're really excited about heading up there. Heading over to Illinois to Olivet Nazarenes Invitational, which, again, getting some different teams and just playing different courses, and that's what we want to do is get as much exposure outside of Iowa as we can. And then we go over to Bellevue, which is obviously Bellevue's got a history of being a very competitive national team, so we're going to go over there to their invitation.
Good rivalry there that you guys
have
built
it's a
over the
friendly
last,
rivalry,
rivalry,
you know, and it's a great tournament. It's a nice little country club over there that just is well taken care of, and you know, it's just some good competition.
Definitely.
And then obviously we have our Fall Classic, October 9th and 10th, which we'll be hosting, and I think we have about 7 or 8 teams signed up, so should get a good variety of golf there. And then the big one, I've highlighted it, I've told the girls all about it, going down for Dalton State's Invitational in Georgia, which is a little bit of a trip, but
definitely, yeah.
I think it's going to be one well worth it at the end of the fall season to see where we're at.
Right.
I think there's 12 teams there, and 10 of them were all at nationals last year.
Right.
So it's going to be a good test, and you know, it's kind of a mixture of North teams and South teams, and you know, getting into late October and still finding a good tournament like this is key for us, because that's kind of when, you know, the cold sets in up here.
Yeah, not really able to play a lot around here, but I mean, so when you've gotten to the spot that you guys are at now, that you can need and must, you know, play against these really good teams to see where you're at. It's not just, we're going to go play for fun. No, it's we're going to go and really see how much better we've gotten, where we are, you know, getting what we need to work on going into the spring. And, you know, we assume we're still top 25, but this proves that we're still one of the top teams in the nation.
Yeah, and that's exactly what this
it's not a gimmick tournament. There's you're playing against the best to get better and all that. So for sure. Obviously, a varsity reserve schedule there as well. You guys are full of a lot of events there. However, if you want to bring anything up about that, but you know, something you brought up a couple nights ago when we did our media and community night, saying, you know, you give opportunities to everybody. It's not that number 1 player is going to play 8 tournaments and then number 12 player is going to get maybe 1 if they're lucky. They're going to tell them, no, you guys make sure everybody's playing, because it's kind of a farm system situation. So you guys are making sure that you're getting those younger players ready. So even maybe if they're not totally prepared as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, they're going to be able to step in and play a huge role for you. Yeah.
I mean, the tournaments they go to are considered varsity tournaments. Right. So even though and that's what we tell them. You know, it's just as competitive as what our varsity team's going to, and they get to play courses outside of here, and they get to be involved and have chances to win tournaments.
Right.
The all tournament, plus, you know, it helps their stroke average, like you said earlier, for the all conference and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so, they play a lot of one-day tournaments, and we kind of keep them around Iowa. Yeah. But they're going up to BV. That's a 2-day, so they get to have an overnight tournament and
have an
try to do
experience
that. Yep. But yeah, I mean, we're going to Mount Mercy. Actually, they start the season off for us, going up to Mount Mercy for their fall invitational, and then, you know, a duel with Grinnell here, and then obviously they're going to Buena Vista for their overnight, and then they'll end their season with our Fall Classic, which that'll kind of be a nice little end for them.
Yeah, put a nice bow on the season, because, like you said, it's going to be important to see where they're at. And there's some players that are in that 6, 7, 8, 9 spot, whatever that very well could be in the top 5 when it's all said and done.
Yes.
Come next May, so you never know. Obviously, you guys are it's a different situation playing both seasons, but you know, what are the keys to success right now in the fall as you're preparing? You know, we're probably talk again in the spring maybe, but what are you looking to do right now, and what's it going to take for you guys to, you know, advance from where you have been?
Yeah, right now, I mean, we're still in the process of seeing what the girls have done over the summer.
Right.
You know, where their game's at right now.
Yeah.
We'll probably finish that up, you know, today, tomorrow, qualify and get the test to see where they're all at individually scoring too. But then once we have that all kind of figured out, then we kind of go to practices and we work on the things we need to work on as a team and individually, and that's kind of what we have done in the past to just keep grinding to that next level.
Right.
it's not an overnight process. Unfortunately, the golf
Right.
swing can get
Yeah.
kind of complicated. So it takes some steps and some patience, and that's what this fall season's about. Is just patience and getting all the kinks and everything worked out to get to peak in that conference tournament.
Right.
And it's kind of difficult because you get it figured out, and then you hit the winter
then
break.
you got a break,
So then you got to kind of almost start back over. But as long as you know now in the fall, you can almost start right away in the spring on where we left off and where we need to go. So
that's what makes what you guys have done over the last handful of years so impressive. Is that there's not a lot of teams from the Midwest, from the north of the Mason-Dixon line, if we want to use a history term there, but that are really successful in golf. It's a situation that's tough. You really would rather have, in my mind at least, rather have nationals in the fall. You're coming off maybe playing a ton during the summer, but for again us up north, we're looking at you play all this really great and you're excited about how you are at the end of October, and then you have to take a break, and then you have to warm back up and get the rust knocked off again in a short time in the spring. But again, that's a testament to what you guys have accomplished, that you're able to stay playing with the Dalton States and the Scad Savannahs and whatever, all those top teams, Oklahoma City, that you guys are pushing them, considering they have a real advantage, just Mother Nature wise. But anyway, well, I appreciate you coming in for a little bit. You guys starting on right at the turn of the month here, August 31st and the 1st, up there in Yankton, South Dakota. So if you're in Yankton that weekend, check out Coach Pierson and the ladies. They're going to be putting on quite a show as the year goes on, but we'll keep track of you, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You'll win a whole bunch of tournaments.
We hope so.
Great. All right.
So.
Thanks.
Thanks.